Alright, so hi everyone. I thought today for my YouTube channel I would make just a quick short few videos using the footage that I filmed for my Patreon channel drawing this absolutely beautiful horse portrait. So this video is going to be focusing on the metal in the portrait and how I go about drawing metal, a few things that I really try and keep an eye out for and just different, things that I keep in mind whilst I'm doing it. So let's just get right on into the first tip I have. So tip number one, much like in my leather tips and tricks video that I just did, keep the shape as perfect as you can. So obviously metal, if it's like a bar of metal, the bar's not going to vary in width across the bar, if that makes any sense. So keeping the shape of the metal as perfect and even as you can, I think is really important. So I talk a lot more in depth about this on my Patreon video. However, personally, I really struggle to do this on round metal, such as rings and things that, normally found on dog collars and horses' tack and things. I just find it so easy to veer out of your lines, make us one part thicker and then it just looks weird, so then you try and thicken the rest of the ring, then it just becomes a really thick ring and it just doesn't look too great. So when I do metal, either if it is a ring or something, like a buckle, I really try and keep just all the lines as straight as possible, as even apart as possible, just so it looks realistic. Okay, so my second tip is to not so much focus on the details in metal, but the contrast, such as the highlights and the shadows. So obviously, when it comes to metal, there's not really all that much detail. There is going to be more like blocks of colour, whether that's going to be really dark colour or really light colour, but the blocks are normally quite hard-edged lines. And usually there is a very wide group of values. So there'll be a really, really dark, pretty much black probably. And that will appear in obviously all the shadowed areas and all the areas that are darker or hidden away. And then that can vary all the way up to the mid-ranges, where, if it's gold metal, it will probably be like a yellowy orange colour. And then it can go all the way up to highlights, which will pretty much be bright white. So yeah, nailing the highlights and the shadows in metal I find really important. I find it makes it look really shiny and really realistic. So the third tip is metallic pencils. Now, the very first set I ever got of coloured pencils, it was the 120 set of Polychromos by Faber-Castell. And in that set, lovely, beautiful colours. And then there was 3 right at the end, which were a silver pencil, a gold pencil, and a rose gold pencil. And obviously, first thought, you go, wow, that would be amazing for shiny things. But honestly, they don't at all. I don't really know what their purpose is, but you can 100% make metal without using metallic pencils. So honestly, I don't even know where mine have gone. I probably just chucked them away. I don't really see a need for them. You just, especially if you have quite a range of pencil colours as well, you can very easily create a metal colour without using those metallic colours. So as I mentioned in tip 2, there are very few smooth graduations in the metal. Normally, as I said, there'll be very harsh graduations, being lines that are made from the reflections that are reflecting into the metal. So instead of blending everything out as smooth as you possibly can, just look at your reference where all the really harsh lines are and everything, and make sure to put those into your drawing, and then that will really help give more of a realistic look to your metal. Alright, so there was just a few quick tips on how I draw metal, what I look out for, what I try and imply in my drawing. And as I said, this tutorial I'm drawing is a real-time, full, in-depth 7+ hour tutorial split into 4 parts, focusing on leather, metal, horse's hair and a horse's nose. So if you did want to head on over there and check it out and possibly consider supporting my business, my prices start at £3 a month as a monthly subscription, and for that you will get a bunch of videos, different topics and looking at different things with colour pencil and pastel. So yeah, that is all from me. I hope you have a lovely day whatever you're doing. Yeah, goodbye.